There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. See, we had a whole intro planned. I was really excited about that intro.
Right.
And now we got it. Welcome to the Fyter Fest preview. Now the show has really begun.
That was really well worth it. You really needed that intro.
We needed that, right? Tried to get it done right when we started. Something happened with the beginning of the stream, but we're okay. We're live. Welcome to the show, everybody. AEW Fyter Fest going down this Saturday, tomorrow night, live in California.
It's not Jacksonville. Jacksonville's in 2 weeks, right?
No, Daytona Beach, Florida. Daytona Beach, Florida. It's part of the CEO Fighting Game Conference, and they're doing a big wrestling show. This is AEW's second show. We had All In, but that wasn't really AEW. Double or Nothing was the first show. And now, the second show, AEW's Fyter Fest. And this one is going to be free.
Cool.
7:30 p.m. Eastern, live at AEW on BRLive.com. So it's like the Bleacher Report service, AEW on BRLive.com at 7:30. That's when this thing is going to start, Saturday night, June 29th, tomorrow.
Can't you see the pre-show on their YouTube page?
I think the pre-show's on the YouTube page, but also on that website that I just gave.
Oh, nice.
So, we are going to preview the card here on Dave and Johnny Live. We're also going to talk a little bit of film, a little talking film with Johnny North. You saw a movie, right?
Yesterday, yeah. I saw that movie.
You saw the movie yesterday?
About the Beatles. A band I'm not sure. You know about the Beatles, right? Or is that another band you're not very...
But what was the name? What was the name of the movie?
The movie was called Yesterday.
When did you see the movie?
I saw it yesterday.
This is like a who's on first scenario. This is
a
confusing.
Little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you saw yesterday.
Are you aware of the song Yesterday, or?
All My Troubles Seem So Far Away.
Wow, I'm impressed. Like, I didn't think you were well aware.
I've seen Paul McCartney in concert. I'm well aware of the Beatles. I like the Beatles.
Okay. Wow.
We
you
can
like the Beatles?
Yeah,
like,
who
wow.
doesn't like the Beatles? They're all right. John, Paul, Ringo, and George. Who doesn't like those guys? Classic band. I'm not much into a lot of the classic rock, but I like the Beatles.
I like a couple of songs, but I'm not a big fan, though.
We'll talk about that movie in a little bit. I want to start with Fyter Fest, though. What else do we have on the show, Johnny?
What else do we have? I guess we could talk a little bit about the whole WWE shakeup. How they're kind of going to war now with AEW.
Another superstar shakeup?
Well, online it seems like Seth Rollins has really caused a fit with a lot of people. I know it caused a big fit with you. So
I'm not mad. People think I'm mad. I'm not mad. I just think
you come across as mad.
Hilarious. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I think you're mad.
I think he's just a silly man.
Okay.
And it reinforces my ideas about Seth Rollins. We're going to get more in depth on the Seth Rollins thing on this week's episode of Wrestling Uncensored. We'll also talk about the Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff deal and everything else going on Raw and SmackDown. On the road to Extreme Rules.
Well, I'm sure like the people watching this show, if they want to talk about it, just send a comment. And we'll talk about it because
yeah, we could give it a mention on this show too, because there's so much wrestling news. You know, it could spill over onto Dave and Johnny Live. But let's start with Fyter Fest, Big Johnny. We got a great card to preview, and a lot of wrestlers that you may not be familiar with, but you're gonna get familiar with over the next several months, over the next years with All Elite Wrestling. AEW is the future of professional wrestling, and they are pushing the WWE to do better. They are pushing the WWE to try. Whether or not it'll be good enough, well, we're going to have to wait and see. But what I like as a wrestling fan already, this is their second show. And already you're seeing the WWE forced to react. So as a wrestling fan, there is no better time than right now. If you want to watch professional wrestling, you like pro wrestling, get ready. It's going to be quite a ride. Because the WWE is getting pushed.
I'm more excited for 2 weeks from now when it's like head-to-head. That'll be fun.
What are you talking about?
The fact that...
Fight for the Fallen?
Right.
It's not really AEW and WWE head-to-head, though, is it?
WWE's having wrestling on at the same time on the network.
What wrestling are they having?
I believe it's Evolve's 10th anniversary show.
Yeah.
Which is like the minor leagues for NXT. But still, it's a great card. I don't know if you've seen that card too.
Yeah, a lot of WWE wrestlers are going to be on it. The Evolve 10th anniversary. Now, Evolve is kind of an indie promotion, right?
Well, there's indie wrestlers on it, so yes.
There's indie. Well, the WWE doesn't own Evolve.
No, but I guess they have a good relationship.
They have a very good relationship. It's kind of the place where indie wrestlers showcase themselves to get a deal with NXT.
Correct.
Currently.
Yeah.
That's kind of the spot. And the WWE acknowledging Evolve and giving them a show on the network, I think is a big move. And I think it's in reaction to AEW.
Well, it's going on at the same time as AEW, so I feel it's directly going against them.
And this is AEW's next show that we're talking about, Fight for the Fallen, July 13th in Jacksonville, which is a show where all of the proceeds will be going to victims of gun violence.
Going against a charity show, yeah.
WWE's going up against a charity show. And, whatever. People are upset about that. I'm not that mad about that. I get it. It's pro wrestling. It's a wrestling war. The WWE's going to do some things. However, the optics of this are not good.
Why?
They're the company that takes money from the Saudi government. They're the company that'll run opposite a charity show for victims of gun violence. It doesn't look good if you're the WWE.
This was booked months in advance, though.
That they were going to be on the network?
That
this was
having
booked?
The show.
Yeah, the show was booked months in advance, but I think only recently did the WWE say, you know what? If we ran that show on the WWE network, we'd be able to counter-program AEW.
And give more talent opportunity to be showcased. Some talent that would never be showcased in the first place. I don't think this is a bad thing.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for pro wrestling, but it just doesn't feel right because AEW is doing this charity show on the same night. It does work for the WWE because I think they're going to do a pay-per-view in Philadelphia that weekend, so they already have their camera crew there.
It's kind of like doing a takeover in a sense.
Right. And that's going to be July 13th. Adam Cole is going to defend the NXT title against Akira Tozawa. Drew Gulak is going to wrestle Matt Riddle. And then a bunch of Evolve guys will wrestle as well. And former Evolve guys like Riddle and, Adam Cole. A lot of these guys wrestled there too.
Right. Just those two matches alone.
It's cool because it's going to showcase some new talent.
Right.
And I'm not mad at it. I'm going to watch it. But they are counter-programming this AEW charity show, and Kenny Omega did tweet about it. He then deleted the tweet. But this is what Kenny Omega said about it. He says, if lining your pockets with blood money is okay, then what's wrong with trying to undermine a charity show for victims of gun violence? I hear that healthy competition is supposed to be a good thing, and yet I can't help but feel like I'm going to be sick. So Kenny tweeted that, and then he deleted it, and he said, I've said my piece, and it opened the door to a very toxic environment. It wasn't a message to fans or the boys, just the decision makers. I wish everyone wrestling on any show that day all the best. That is all.
Classy move.
He's a classy guy.
Well, not in that first instance, but he
took
it back.
Think he was upset.
Very upset.
And I can understand how he might be upset.
At first, I think
with the WWE and their business practices. And how underhanded and evil they can be if they want to be.
In business, a lot of people are like that.
So this is all happening while Seth Rollins is tweeting up a storm to Will Ospreay and claiming to be the best wrestler in the world and things like that. So it does seem like there is some friction between the WWE and AEW. All this has happened within a week. Not to mention, the WWE has decided that Eric Bischoff is going to run SmackDown and Paul Heyman is going to run Raw in, I guess, an on-screen and real way, where they're gonna be the heads of creative for both shows, reporting directly to Vince McMahon, of course.
I don't understand how that's going to work.
How does that work?
Paul Heyman's still the advocate for Brock Lesnar.
Well, okay, who cares about that? How do Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff run each show? How do they do that with a wild card rule? How do they decide who's on what show? How do they decide who gets who? They haven't thought this out. They haven't planned any of this out because this was just another reactionary move by the WWE. Oh, damn it, pal, what do we do? Well, let's get Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman. Those guys know how to run wrestling companies, right? Like,
They did.
they did in the late 90s, kind of. I mean, they both went out of business, so I don't know.
Yeah, but Heyman's been on the booking team, creative. He's been writing a lot of the angles and storylines for a lot of wrestlers, Ronda, Brock, even Alexa Bliss apparently. So he's showcased himself already, recently.
I'm not going to go on and say Paul Heyman is bad and he's out of touch and this and that. Okay, I'm not going to.
He's far from out of touch, I think.
Okay, I think Paul Heyman is probably a guy you want involved in creative decisions in professional wrestling, maybe even still in 2019. Maybe. I'm not saying that he's going to be the savior and the fix to this WWE problem, okay?
Okay.
But Eric Bischoff?
He was still able to take over the wrestling world. He toppled WWE for 83 weeks.
In 1998?
Has anyone else done it since?
How did TNA do under Eric Bischoff?
Not the greatest, no.
Not too good. But people were saying, well, Vince doesn't know that, He doesn't know. I don't watch. What's TNA? That's where we got AJ Styles from, right? Who is that guy? Yeah, it's good. So we're here to preview Fyter Fest. We'll get to more of that on Wrestling Uncensored. It's just an absolute. I think it's kind of a joke. Putting Bischoff in charge of SmackDown right now. Come on, this is their answer. I think they're reaching, but I don't know if they're reaching for the right things. And I think that AEW is doing everything correctly. They're bringing in new talent that you're not aware of and you're becoming aware of, and now I'm invested. Darby Allen is going to wrestle Cody on this card. They did a great job of introducing Darby Allen on the Road to Fyter Fest YouTube shows that they put out. Great job. I'm invested in Darby Allen. I want to know what he's going to do. He's a skater guy. He doesn't care. He's willing to take vicious punishment. He's gone through a lot of things in his life. I did not know about Darby Allen until he was booked on this show. I've watched Darby Allen matches. I watched highlights of his match that he had with John Moxley recently. Right. That was awesome.
It was okay.
Well, the highlights were pretty impressive when he gets handcuffed and he does a springboard moonsault and then a dive onto Moxley outside the ring, handcuffed.
I didn't see the handcuff part.
He does a handcuffed rolling dive to the outside on Moxley.
Dive. I didn't realize he was handcuffed. Wow.
Darby Allin is no joke, and I think he is going to go 100% with Cody, and we're going to see something special.
Right, but I also feel that still Cody's the main star. He's going to make him look good,
yeah.
But Cody for sure is winning this match, though.
I think so.
So that kind of takes away from it a bit when you know who's going to win right away.
But it's a fun match that you've never seen before, and it's going to be good. Okay, you expect Cody to win. It's not guaranteed that he's going to win. You don't know how AEW booking works. Maybe Cody's in a tag team right now with his brother. Maybe that's the focus, and he's not winning in singles wrestlers. Maybe they plan to push Darby Allin as one of their top guys. We don't know.
Well,
you could say that. This isn't the WWE where you're going into it well, we know this, they have a certain pattern. There's no pattern established yet, really, in AEW.
Well, except for Kenny, the Elite won all their matches at All In.
But didn't you think Kenny was going to win?
No, I thought Jericho was going to win.
I think I did, too.
Yeah. No, you thought
Kenny would win?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I think Cody's probably going to win this. I think you're right, but I think the match is going to be very good. The pre-show match will be Michael Nakazawa against Alex Jabali. Alex Jabali is a guy who runs this whole video game conference. He's not even a wrestler.
This was supposed to be the main event originally.
Yeah?
Yeah, but now that's been bumped to the pre-show apparently.
Well, that makes sense because the main event makes way more sense. So this is still a fun match. Michael Nakazawa and Alex Jabali in a hardcore match. This guy's trained to be a wrestler. He's done some things, but I don't know if he's actually had a match, so who knows? But it's the pre-show, so why not?
It's a good way to hide people that aren't good at wrestling. Just put them in a hardcore match and salad dressing pretty much all the way through.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I think Michael Nakazawa will do some fun stuff. Now, speaking of a hardcore match, one match on this card that I'm very excited about is Jon Moxley and Joey Janela.
Yeah, Joey's great.
Did you see the promo that Joey did?
I only saw the face-off. That was it.
Man, you got to see the promo that Joey Janela does on the Road to Fyter Fest episode where he talks about, where he's in like a funeral parlor and he's like, I'd rather die in the ring than be just living in obscurity.
I feel like he said that before at some point, but yeah.
But the way he put it to Moxley and the delivery of the promo and talking about how Moxley was a sellout and doing what he was told, you know, Joey Janela was doing crazy things and he's willing to put his body through anything, like a tremendous promo from Joey Janela. And then they released a thing with Jon Moxley on the latest Road to Fyter Fest where he's watching the promo and he's really upset. Man, it's good. And they've announced that it's now a non-sanctioned match. The build to this match has been fantastic. I guess you haven't watched the Road to Fyter Fest?
Only clips.
You gotta watch the whole episode. It's only about 14 minutes, 10 minutes sometimes, They're not that long. They release 3 of them, and they build a lot of these matches very easily.
Yeah, but Ringside Report is over an hour long, so that takes a lot of my time.
Oh, so you're watching Ringside Report instead of...
Right.
Yeah, but I'm doing Ringside Report, and I'm watching Road to Fyter Fest, and I'm watching Being the Elite. You got to get on board to all the AEW stuff. If you're going to follow AEW and really enjoy it and really get into it, I think you have to watch the Road to Fyter Fest and Being the Elite as well. I think I'm hyped for this show more than you are because I watch the hype videos, You're going to enjoy the show when you watch it, but the excitement won't be there, and maybe the understanding of all the stories won't be there either. You got to see the promos to understand the match sometimes too, right?
Yeah, but watching All In, it really didn't seem to matter about the story. It was more about the wrestling. They focus on that mainly.
Well, the wrestling is good enough on its own, but if you add the story into it, going in with Being the Elite and all that stuff, it adds to it, makes it better. It's a more complete experience. AEW is doing a very high caliber wrestling show right now. It's very good. I'm very excited about it. Somebody said to me, I think it was Fred. He's like, is it a big show? It's kind of it's on a pay-per-view. There's a lot of hype about All Out, right? August 31st. Everybody's looking for that because, you had All In, you had Double or Nothing, and they've announced All Out. So people are kind of treating Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen as whatever, throwaway shows.
Spot shows.
This is the second AEW show ever. This matters. These shows all matter.
There's one match that kind of matters.
They all matter.
Well, one match has title implications for it.
Does it?
I want to say it was the tag match.
Yeah, there's a tag team match with title implications. Okay. Before, though, I want to know, what do you think? Jon Moxley, Joey Janela. I think they're going to tear the house down, and it's a non-sanctioned match, so it's going to get violent. There's going to be some weapons, probably. I could see Janela going through a table head first.
Oh, why not? He does it all the time.
He did it a Double or Nothing.
I feel like
Luchasaurus, that elimination through the table was disgusting.
He did it All In as well against Adam Page.
Oh, yeah, that match was sick.
He always kills himself.
Joey Janela's awesome. You got to love Joey Janela, right?
Of course.
He's fantastic.
But that's it. He's going to kill himself, so he's not going to win.
Yeah, that's kind of what you expect, right?
Well, also, has Moxley lost since coming on the indie scene again? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen here.
He's going to lose in the G1, though. He's can't win all the G1 matches. I don't think he's going to win his block.
Yeah, but they
I
could
filled
also,
out a bracket recently. I did not have him winning his block. I had him losing to a lot of guys.
there's a way he could still maybe not win his block, but still not lose.
Naito's got to beat him. He's going to wrestle Naito. Naito
We'll
better.
see.
It's New Japan Pro Wrestling, man. I want to see Naito beat Jon Moxley. That's how it should be. If Naito doesn't win, I riot.
We both expect. I thought I had Naito going all the way.
I like Jon Moxley, but I'm Team Naito. I mean, how could you not be?
Well, Naito's supposed to go all the way for me, so I hope he wins.
I picked him to win the G1.
Well,
Did you pick him to win too, or you just piggyback off my pick?
I had Naito and Kenta. I think you had
Naito and Ibushi.
Right.
I have Naito and Ibushi in the finals.
Right.
G1 starts next week.
It's going to be a good month.
It's going to be a great summer of pro wrestling.
It's a lot. It's a lot of wrestling.
I love it. I love it so much. So we both think Jon Moxley goes over in this match. Makes sense. I think it's going to be awesome. How about that tag team match? I think it's on a pre-show with tag team title implications. It's a 3-way tag team title match. The winners will advance to All Out for an opportunity at a first-round bye in the AEW World Tag Title Tournament. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is complicated.
Not really.
Well, they're going to have a tournament, and the winner of this match will advance to All Out to compete for a bye. So the winner of this match doesn't get a bye. The winner of this match gets a match, and if they win that match, they get a bye in the first round of the tournament.
It happened, I think, in Survivor Series 98. I want to say Taker and Kane fought. They just happened to get a bye because other people got disqualified, but still they got a bye.
So best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta taking on SCU, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian, taking on the Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. And the Road to Fyter Fest did a really good job of introducing us to Private Party, who I think is going to be a new AEW tag team. I'd like to see those guys go over.
But I think you expect SoCal should more than likely go over in this one.
No.
Really?
I think it's either Private Party or Chucky T and Trent Beretta.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think SCU wins. Kazarian's pretty old, man.
So's Daniels, but it doesn't mean there's not the best tag team I think right now they have.
I don't know. I don't think you're going to push those guys as the future of the tag team division. Kazarian's like 41. Chucky T and Trent Beretta are like 33 and 32 respectively. They're still very young guys, and like the Private Party guys are in their 20s. Scorpio's not, he's 36. He's not that old, but I just don't see SCU being the kind of team you want to push in this match. I think either the Best Friends, who I think have a very good chance of being the first ever tag team champions in AEW.
They do have a good chance.
Or the Private Party, because they're new and you want to push them, and I think they're going to be very exciting. I think you're going to see this team and be like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of Private Party now.
All right, I just feel that SCU is the best tag team. I mean, Chris Jericho's 50 now, or close to 50.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be the AEW heavyweight champion, so.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be the first champion.
It's okay to have these veterans as your champions. It shows how great your federation is, actually.
Yeah, maybe. I got nothing against Frankie Kazarian. He's a tremendous wrestler, and at 41, he could still go. Like, 41 is not old whatsoever. I just don't know if they're the team right now. I think I'd go with the Best Friends or the other Private Party, whatever. But if you went with SCU, I'm not mad at it either. And the match should be fantastic. Not sure who's going to win. Think the match will be great. All 6 wrestlers are very, very good. You can't ask for much more, right?
Well, I think it shouldn't be on the pre-show, but it is what it is.
I see. All right, what else do we got here?
Are people talking, it seems?
Yeah, we got some comments. We'll get to those after the preview.
Okay.
How about that? All right. I see Wally's there on the chat. I see some people chatting it up.
Wow, what time is it, Wally? That's impressive.
I don't know. Adam Page taking on Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, and MJF in a fatal 4-way match. This should be excellent. All these guys are very talented. Hangman Page, he's going to have that match with Jericho for the title. The winner at All Out becomes the first ever AEW champion. Jimmy Havoc, a very talented wrestler from England. He's got he's got like a hardcore style. He's a tough guy.
Did he wrestle in Japan too?
I don't know. Probably. The guy's been all over the place, Jimmy Havoc. He's from England, wrestled a lot there, wrestled a lot in Progress, a little bit in TNA, MLW, CZW, you know. But I don't see any Japan stuff on his sheet right now. But who knows? So he takes on Jungle Boy and MJF. It's going to be a good match. All four guys, established personalities in AEW. I think maybe Hangman, Jungle Boy, and MJF a little bit more so than Jimmy Havoc. But MJF, a great character, a very talented wrestler, going to be a big star in the future for AEW. Jungle Boy, same thing. Hangman Page, same thing. I think this match is going to be awesome. I think Hangman probably wins. He's heading into a big match. You want to push him on the way there.
Well, he kind of has to win in a sense, right? He's the number one contender.
It would make sense if he won.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Christopher Daniels taking on Shima one-on-one. This will be fun. It was a little bit of a rematch deal from Double or Nothing when it was SCU versus the OWE guys, and Shima who was their leader.
Oh, I see.
And Daniels and Shima have a long history in Japan together. When Daniels went to Japan the first time around, Shima helped him acclimate to the Japanese wrestling style and Japan itself. He was very helpful to Daniels, so Daniels kind of paying him back with this relationship. So very cool.
It's
good brother stuff.
It's just weird how this match is on the main show, or the other match means a bit more.
Yeah.
It's just odd that they would do that, but
I don't know. Maybe they want you to watch the pre-show. You've got Kylie Ray taking on Leva Bates, who's one of the librarians, and she'll have the other librarian in her corner, Peter Avalon. You know about the librarian gimmick?
They showed that.
You know they have two librarians?
Yeah, didn't they show that? I think at Double or Nothing. They showed that for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, well, if you follow Being the Elite, you'd know a little bit more about that. So that match should be fun. That's on the pre-show. I'd go with Kylie Ray to win. I think Kylie Ray is headed towards a big match. Isn't she wrestling? Oh, no, that's Brandy. Brandy's going to be wrestling, not Kylie Ray. She's going to wrestle Allie. But, yeah, I think Kylie Ray probably wins.
Well, she's more featured, I find. So that's why I think she'd win.
Although this is the debut for the librarian gimmick in a match, so you never know. Another women's match, you're going to have Yuka Sakazaki taking on Riho, taking on Nyla Rose in a triple threat. That should be fun. I was impressed with all three on Double or Nothing. Not really sure where they're going with this. Not really sure what the women's division plans are, like when they're going to announce a title, when they're going to announce tag team titles, although they have said they do plan on doing both. No word yet on when that's going to happen. Maybe when they start TV in October. But in the meantime, whoever wins this match would put themselves in a good position. I'm going to go with Yuka Sakazaki. She is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'd go with. I guess Nyla Rose, I guess. I don't really know.
You don't know? Yuka Sakazaki is very, very good. Pay attention to her if you haven't seen her before at Fyter Fest. How about the last match here on the card? I think this is going to be the main event, right?
The 6-man?
Yeah. The Elite. It's all Elite wrestling, right? And if you're the Elite, you better be in the main event. The Elite. Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks take on the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon and Phoenix. Cero miedo. You know what that means?
No.
Cero miedo. You don't know what that means when he says it all the time? Pentagon? No fear.
Oh.
Cero miedo. And the Laredo Kid teaming up with Pentagon and Phoenix. Originally, this was supposed to be Pac with the Lucha Brothers, but something happened. He's not wrestling for AEW.
Well, you know what happened. He's a champion, and he can't lose, so.
So I guess he was going to lose?
Well, the fear of him losing, he's, I guess, pulled himself, or someone pulled him from the shows.
Weird. So the Elite, we expect will win. I mean, it's Kenny and the Bucks.
It's their show.
They just lost in AAA. Did the Young Bucks to Pentagon and Rey Fenix. They lost the AAA tag team titles in Mexico a couple weeks ago. I think the Bucks win this. They've got Kenny Omega on their side. Like, you know, it's the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. That's pretty even. But then you've got the Laredo Kid and Kenny Omega. No disrespect to the Laredo Kid, who is a tremendous wrestler. Very, very good, and will be a lot of fun to watch. Great Mexican luchador. But Kenny Omega, I mean, come on. That's the man right there. It's the number one guy.
Well, it's AEW. Don't bet against the Elite because they seem to always win.
Well, not always.
Jericho's the exception to the rule.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. So, AEW Fyter Fest going down tomorrow night, and I will be live here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe. I don't know. I was trying to get people to subscribe, trying to hit that subscribe button.
Follow us on Twitter, too.
Subscribe to the channel. Hold on a second. We got it. Here we go.
The sound effects.
Subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll see the AEW post-show. I will be here right after AEW Fyter Fest to recap all the action tomorrow night. And Johnny may be here too.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
We don't know if Johnny will be here. My brother will be here.
Oh, there you go. The Simon Brothers. You guys were great at Stomping Grounds.
We handled the Stomping Grounds post-show.
Yeah. That was good.
We did it without you.
Yep.
Were we up to your standards? Were we all right, John?
I thought you guys could have talked more about the show. You guys just like bash the fact that it's like, oh, the name sucks, the logo sucks. I thought you could have talked more about the wrestling.
We talked about the wrestling. The show was like an hour long. We talked about the wrestling.
There could have been more about the wrestling. I thought you guys focused way too much.
The logo
on
was
looks.
stupid. Come on.
That wasn't really a big topic to talk about. I thought the greatest topic was the fact that mid card was spectacular.
Very good.
And you thought this was going to be the December to Dismember. It was not.
Well, the mid card saved the show. Kevin and Sammy and Big E and Xavier Woods.
Daniel Bryan.
The Heavy Machines showed up. Daniel Bryan's fantastic. Ricochet, Samoa Joe. They were awesome.
Yes, they were.
What did you think about Becky Lynch taking forever to come help Seth?
That could have been better. I did like Lacey Evans being the ref, though.
You didn't like that.
I did like that.
It made sense.
I thought it was great drama.
But
the taking forever hurt the match a lot.
It made Becky look not that supportive of Seth.
Well, it just made it look stupid. It would have made more sense if she lost. Then that would explain why it took her forever to come out. But she won, so she should have been out sooner. She kind of explained herself, though, on Twitter, I think. She said, like, you can slap him around, you can, like, change the rules.
But if you kick him in the balls, it's like a problem.
Yeah, that's it. That's the... So
yeah.
She explained herself.
She had to say something.
Well, it looked stupid, so of course she did.
Yeah, I wish she was tweeting and her boyfriend was tweeting less.
I don't have a big problem with the Seth Rollins thing, but I feel like when he talked about Will Ospreay, you got very offended.
Well, he's like talking down to Will Ospreay, who's so much better than him. Like, that's what shocked me about it. I was like, oh my goodness. This is the guy who I always talk about as being the best wrestler in the world, Will Ospreay. Like, how long have I been saying that Will Ospreay is the number one guy?
Well, you said Kenny Omega was.
Well, man, like, Kenny is up there, but on What's Phantom in Japan, we talk a lot about Will Ospreay, and we talk about how good he is, and, you know, he's becoming the number one wrestler in the world. He's the future of professional wrestling. Kenny might be the number one right now, but Ospreay is on his heels. You know, he's right there behind him. And Seth Rollins is a guy who I'm, you know, not that impressed by. A lot of people think he's this great wrestler, and he's all right. You know, he's not terrible.
Well, he's the Universal Champion.
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. He worked his ass off at Stomping Grounds.
He did.
But as far as pure talent, as far as entertainment value, he's not the best. There are guys in the WWE that are better than him, that are more entertaining, that are more fun to watch. And I think you'd admit that as well, right?
Of course.
And not just Randy Orton. Okay, other guys.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan.
I'd even say Brock Lesnar.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston.
That's tough on that one, but yeah, I guess Kofi
I'd give it
slightly to Kofi.
Promos? Come on. Like, match-wise, I'd say they're pretty close.
Right.
As far as what they do in the ring, I'd say pretty close. For me, I'd give an edge to Kofi because it seems like it's a more fun when he's in there, but Seth is very good too. Like, it's close.
Right.
But as far as the character and the promos and the entertainment factor and like the whole package of a pro wrestler, I'd say Kofi's better than him. I'd say there are at least 5 to 10 guys in the WWE, not to mention the women, who a lot of them are better than him. I mean, Becky Lynch, you know?
I don't know.
Maybe not athletically.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not match-wise, but character-wise anyways. Asuka, Kairi Sane. Like, I could name several women in the WWE that I think are better than Seth. Naomi's, like, more athletic.
Okay.
You know?
I don't know if she's better, though.
Shayna's more fun to watch. Asuka is just better. Asuka's flat out better than Seth Rollins. So is Kairi Sane. So is Io Shirai.
But Seth Rollins is still, I think, above average.
Well, yeah, above average for the WWE. Like, he's much better than Jinder Mahal and Mojo Rawley. Much better. Congratulations. He's better than Baron Corbin.
He's better than the guys he's wrestling right now. That's what matters.
Is it? No, it isn't. What do you mean? That's not what matters. You know who's not better than? Will Ospreay.
Well, he's not in the same federation. So it
And
doesn't
to
matter.
say that Ricochet is a better version of Will Ospreay is just, you know, it's dismissive and it's wrong.
Well, I just didn't understand where it's like, why did he bring up Ricochet? Because it's like...
Because they had that match together?
Okay, but like Seth Rollins is talking about like he's the best wrestler, and then Will Ospreay's like, I'm alive, and then he's like, oh, I'll bring up Ricochet.
So
it didn't make any sense. Like,
I'll read the exact quote from Seth Rollins. We're getting into it.
Okay.
Seth Rollins says, doubling down, best pro wrestling on the planet. See that Cruiserweight triple threat, which was great at Stomping Grounds. Great match.
I didn't get to see that, unfortunately.
Oh, you missed
it. It
it.
was on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. And that's just one night, one match amongst the many. Find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it, as often as I do it, you can't.
Right, and then
I replied with a picture of Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles because I was like,
Okay.
what about those guys?
and
Those guys are in your company and they're like way better than you, man. But that's another thing. And then Ricochet replied, I'm alive.
no, Will Ospreay replied.
Will Ospreay replied, I'm alive. And then Seth responds to Will Ospreay, which he should not have done. He opened it up.
Right.
He should not have responded to Will Ospreay.
Not the way he did, anyways. I don't mind responding because I think responding actually helped him because he's more popular now, Will Ospreay, because of this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it raised Ospreay's profile for sure. So Seth says, oh, I'm sorry, little guy. Little guy. Ospreay has little guy t-shirts on sale right now, by the way. I think I'm going to buy one.
I feel like Will Ospreay is bigger than him, though. Like, because I've met Seth Rollins. He's not a big guy.
Jericho responded to Seth's little guy tweet
Right.
and said, actually, he's bigger than you. And
Well-
Jericho knows. He knows them both.
Well, and you've said it. Will Ospreay's gotten bigger. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
a couple years ago, yeah. But now?
What are you doing, Seth? He's about to run the wrestling world. He's the best guy in the world, and you're shit-talking him? How stupid are you, Seth Rollins? God damn, you're stupid. So, I mean, it's just he comes off as stupid. I'm sorry.
Well,
Why would you say that about Will Ospreay? Anyway, so he says, I'm sorry, little guy. We already have a better version of you here. A better version. And he just won his first U.S. title. Congrats, Ricochet. Keep working hard, though, buddy. Like, really just dismissive, right?
Right.
And Ospreay just kind of went hard on Seth Rollins.
Well, you went extremely hard on Seth Rollins
What do you mean?
afterwards.
What did I say?
Didn't you tweet about, like isn't Seth, like, out of his mind or something, or like he's a corporate man or something, or he's just a WWE guy. He's just trying to talk about WWE and put it over, but he's out of his mind.
I don't think I said that. I think you're misquoting me once again.
I feel like you said something to that effect. You said a lot of angry stuff about Seth Rollins.
I really didn't. What did I say about Seth Rollins? Better version of Will Ospreay. Is Seth serious? Little guy? This new Seth Rollins Twitter persona is making him come off like a clueless jackass. Not good. Leave the tweets to Becky. He's coming off clueless because he's calling him little when he's bigger than him. Okay? And he's coming off like a jackass because he's just being rude to Will Ospreay, saying, oh, Ricochet's better than you. You're no good. If I'm Seth Rollins, I would not respond to Will Ospreay, first of all. Second of all, I would do everything in my power to welcome Will Ospreay into the WWE to make the WWE a better place. You want guys like that. But Seth comes off as insecure. Like, oh, here's Will Ospreay. He's a younger, better version of me. He's coming for the crown. I better keep him down. He's another guy who became a top guy in the WWE who's trying to hold people down.
I wouldn't say he's holding people down.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't say that at all.
He's trying to hold Ospreay down.
No, he's not. If anything, he's helping Will Ospreay.
Sure.
He made him more popular by doing this.
So Seth Rollins doubled down. He's like, let me dial it up. I've sat back and watched idiots with no clue talk poorly about the place I dedicate my life to every hour of every day. The level I perform at on constant is untouchable. Time to let him know.
So he's talking about us now, I guess, or what?
Idiots with no clue. I don't know. I thought he was talking about me. Maybe he's talking about Dean Ambrose. Do you see what he said about Dean Ambrose? So Ambrose, has had interviews where he's talking about the WWE, and here's what Seth had to say about Dean Ambrose to Sports Illustrated. And I quote, Ambrose can do what he wants. He's a big boy. He's got his big boy pants on. He can go out there and say whatever he wants. But the bottom line is, not everybody's equipped to handle the rigors of WWE and the schedule and how it affects you mentally and emotionally.
Sounds like a Triple H line.
He put his heart and soul into the travel, into the schedule, into the injuries, into the work in the ring and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he took his ball and he went home. Or he went elsewhere at least. And I think it's a little presumptuous of him to get on a podcast and talk down about the company that gave him such an opportunity. Your corporate champion, Seth Rollins. Well, I mean, come on, man. That's not a very brother thing for him to say.
Hey, it's war. I get it.
It's war. It's war. And sometimes in war, you got to take sides. And I'm not taking Seth Rollins' side. And if he's going to be flying the WWE flag, it's going to be hard for a lot of wrestling fans to take the side of the WWE. Rein this guy in, Vince. He's making your company look bad. Especially when he starts talking about money.
He's pro WWE. I don't think that makes the company look bad.
So Will Ospreay said, fact of the day, Will Ospreay wrestled more matches in 2019 than Seth Rollins. Catch up, little guy.
Oh, we're really going all the way with this feud here, I guess. We're talking all about it now, I guess.
Seth Rollins responded. I mean, if you want to talk numbers, we can compare bank accounts too. That's counting a month off with a broken back, buddy.
He's a rich guy. That's nice. Should buy a better phone next time, though.
Yeah. He's talking about money. He's talking about money.
He makes a lot of money.
He's bragging about how much money he's got. It's not going to... Doesn't make you a better babyface. Anyways, we'll talk more about it on Wrestling Uncensored, John. I know we talked about it a lot. Way more than we should have here.
Hey, you wanted to talk about it. You wanted to vent,
All right. Talk about your movie.
Talking? No, Johnny. No.
What do you got?
Well, as I told you, I saw yesterday. So in this film, there's a man named Jack. And he's the only one in the world, apparently, that remembers the Beatles. Because everyone else doesn't remember them. So he pretty much...
So they existed, and he's the only one that recalls that they existed?
They existed, but they didn't exist as a band. He's the only one that remembers the songs. For some reason, the world's been changed, and only he can remember the songs. He remembers the experience, so he recreates all the songs for his own.
Okay. So he becomes the one-man Beatles.
And it's interesting, like, it's not just the Beatles, because there's no Beatles, there was no Oasis. I don't know if you're familiar with that band either.
I know who Oasis is.
You know Wonderwall?
Yeah.
There was no Wonderwall.
Champagne Supernova.
Right. Well, there's no Wonderwall.
Why do you think I don't know about music? It's really weird.
Well, there's a lot because you don't watch movies, so.
I listen to music. I don't watch movies, but I listen to music. Those are two different things. You understand that, right?
A lot of them are the same, though, but okay.
What?
Eminem was in a movie, no?
I did see 8 Mile.
Yeah, you did. So there you go. That's good. Wow, you're watching stuff. It's good. But there's no Oasis, and for some reason there's no cigarettes. Apparently, I guess the Beatles invented cigarettes. I don't know why that's the case. Yeah, there's no Coca-Cola.
Okay. What does that have to do with the Beatles?
Because apparently if the Beatles don't exist, there's no Coca-Cola and there's no cigarettes in the world.
So it's a better place.
Is it a better place? Well, they don't really expand into that.
I mean, cigarettes and Coke are detrimental to your health, so yeah.
So you're saying the Beatles like ruined the world? Maybe that was the message.
Well, according to this movie, yes.
Maybe it was in a kind of way, because they kind of bash the Beatles a bit too.
Okay.
Because some people would ask you why I put hashtag Coldplay, because he plays Yesterday, and everyone's like, "Wow, what a great song," and he's like, "Yeah, of course it's a great song. You don't know about it?" And they're like, "Oh, you know, it's good, but it's no Coldplay. It's no Fix You."
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that one too.
I know about Coldplay.
Okay. Well, it's not a great band, but anyways, I thought that was hilarious that people think Coldplay is better than the Beatles.
Okay.
But there's moments like that where he talks about other songs like Oasis and Coldplay, and people just don't understand what's going on with it. But he becomes super popular because of it, because they're great songs.
Uh-huh. So he becomes an international music sensation?
Pretty much.
Does Paul McCartney show up at the end and kick his ass?
John Lennon shows up.
He's dead, though, isn't he?
But because the Beatles never existed.
He was never shot.
Exactly.
So he's an old man.
Exactly.
He shows up and he's like, "Hey, you stole my fucking songs."
Well, I'm not going to spoil the movie. You have to watch that.
Oh, okay.
That's
so there's like an old man John Lennon in the movie. Who plays old man John Lennon?
No one.
No one you'd know.
In particular. Special.
So did you like it? What do you give it on 5? What's your rating?
Probably a 2.5, I think, on 5. Because it's a romantic comedy, really. And that's what really took it away, was the fact that, it's just they covered this up into a romance pretty much. And
this seems like the weirdest movie ever. I don't like it.
I like the world.
I'm giving it 0 stars.
You're giving it 0 stars.
I haven't seen it, but I'm giving it 0 stars.
I was disappointed too, because I'm not a big fan of the Beatles, and there's only a few songs I like. My favorite song is Nowhere Man, and they only mention it, but they never play it. So I was very disappointed with that. Yeah, wah.
Who cares?
Oh, you like Yesterday, I guess. So
whatever. I don't care. I don't have any particular, I do have particular songs that I enjoy, but I'm not gonna whine about not hearing them in a movie. You want to hear the songs? Listen to them yourself. They're probably all on YouTube.
What's your favorite Beatles song?
Oh, it's a good one. That's a tough. I don't know, man.
Do you know the album, maybe, or like?
I think the White Album probably be my favorite.
Yeah, people didn't like the White Album, by the way. Like in this reality, because he throws out the album names and they're like, the White Album. There's no diversity in this. It's just white. So it's kind of funny. And then he talks about the Strawberry Fields Forever album. They're like, "Oh, this is too wordy. It's too long. Like, who would ever want this?"
Uh-huh.
So they kind of bash the Beatles too a bit, which is kind of funny.
Well, they're making fun of it, but obviously they were very successful, so it's all a joke. There's all jokes in the movie. I don't know. Favorite Beatles song? That's a tough one. Yours is what?
Nowhere Man.
That is your favorite Beatles song.
Yeah.
He's a real nowhere man. You like that one?
It reminds me of you. Like,
thanks.
A little bit.
I don't know what. Do I want to know why?
Did you see the cartoon? The Yellow Submarine?
No.
Oh. I saw that as a kid, and like, I love that movie.
I like For the Benefit of Mr. Kite. You know that song?
I don't know that one.
It's a good one.
Okay.
I like Because. You know that song?
No.
Oh.
Let It Be?
Oh, yeah, it's all right. It's not my favorite, though. I'd say Because might be my favorite Beatles song.
I'll have to listen to that.
All right. Well, that'll be your homework for next week's episode of Dave and Johnny Live,
That's my
all right?
homework.
And that's the show. You want to check out some comments?
Sure.
Comments before we wrap up. We will talk more about Seth Rollins and Extreme Rules and everything else on the WWE Wrestling Uncensored episode coming up this week. Tomorrow morning, right? That's when it'll drop. Saturday mornings, you can watch Wrestling Uncensored on the YouTube channel.
Wally was loving that review, it seems.
Wally says Eleanor Rigby. Says 2.5 Johnny North biceps.
I think Wally would love that movie.
He said he'd get rid of the Beatles to rid the world of cigarettes. Interesting.
Wow.
I think tobacco's all right. I don't think we need to get rid of it. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It is what it is. Make your own choices, but whatever. What channel in the U.S.? Anthony McDonough wants to know, what channel in the U.S. are they showing Fyter Fest? It's on AEW on brlive.com. It's not on a channel. It's on a website. AEW on brlive.com. I'm not sure about the international stuff. I know in the U.S. and Canada, it's on AEW on brlive.com. For Fyter Fest, I'm not sure where it airs in Ireland or England or France or Germany or anywhere in Africa or any other country but the U.S. and Canada. Okay? I'm sorry. Check your local listings.
Or look up.
Or don't watch Fyter Fest. Just watch our post show.
That's another idea.
You could just do that. You know, if it's too hard, just come to the YouTube channel and we'll review the show for you. But I do recommend you watch Fyter Fest because it's going to be good.
It's fun to watch wrestling, so yeah.
Let's see. Any other questions here on the chat that we should answer?
There's a lot of Wally. I can see that.
Wally is chatting it up.
What time is it, Wally?
Jake McDonald says, if you're the top guy in the biggest company, I think you're doing something wrong if you don't think you're the best in the world, talking about Seth Rollins.
Correct.
I don't have a problem with Seth believing and wanting to be that guy and carrying that flag. In the position he's in right now in pro wrestling, he should be that adamant. I just think he's wrong. And I think most critical observers of professional wrestling would agree that he is not the best. Not to say he's not good. Like, he's very good. But he's just not the best. And when he claims to be the best and there's no one that could keep up with me and lace my boots and be on the same, level as me, you look around at the wrestling world, you look around in the company that he works at, and there are obviously many other guys better.
Well, I feel Triple H has said the same kind of thing, and a lot of people didn't believe him. Yet he was on top for how many years? It felt like well over a decade.
You're a pro wrestler. Like, you understand the booking, how you are booked, and how good you are.
Right.
Don't always add up. John Cena was the top guy in the WWE for a decade. Are you a John Cena fan?
I'm not, no.
Do you think he was the best wrestler in the world at any point throughout his run?
Yes, he was.
The best wrestler in the world?
He was.
The best.
Yeah.
In-ring wrestler.
Unfortunately.
Match-wise. You thought he was the best at certain points of his run? At no point of John Cena's entire run was he ever the number one wrestler in the world. No point.
I found, like, him against Edge.
The beginning. Kurt Angle was better than him.
Okay.
Edge was better than him. RVD
matches.
was better than him.
That was a huge
CM Punk was better than him. Daniel Bryan was better than him. Through every era of John Cena being on top, there were guys better than him. There were guys more suited for the role. Maybe not more suited to be the top guy for the WWE.
Right.
But more suited to be the number one top champion in the whole business.
Well, I remember him against Edge. To me, that was a great feud, and I didn't think Edge was a main event star, but John Cena helped me believe that Edge could be, because their matches were so good, and it elevated Edge to a whole new level. And you have to give John Cena credit. As much as I don't think John Cena is great, he made Edge into a main event guy. And RVD, to me, that was the biggest match that happened at the ECW pay-per-view.
Of course.
The setting, and you need John Cena. He's the perfect guy for that because he's Mr. WWE. It works so well. He was the top guy at that point.
He was the top guy for a decade. The top guy in the WWE. Just because you're the top guy in the WWE doesn't mean you're the best wrestler in the world, and you know this.
You're in the top wrestling company, and you're saying you're not the best wrestler? It's hard to disagree with that.
You know that I'm right. Why are you arguing with me? What the fuck's going on here?
I'm telling you, I think you're wrong.
But you don't. No. I know that you don't.
No, I hate
you think Edge was better than John Cena? You think John Cena was better than Edge?
He made Edge. I think Edge surpassed him, but it took a while.
You think John Cena was better than Kurt Angle?
No.
Well, in 2006 or whenever Edge was made, Kurt Angle was still in his prime kicking ass. You think John Cena at that time was better than Kurt Angle?
No, I never said that.
He was not. Well, that's my point, John.
There are certain
Just because
moments.
You're the top guy in the WWE doesn't mean you're the best wrestler in the world.
I think at certain points...
It's a simple fact.
At certain points he was, and Seth Rollins at this point believes he's the best.
Is he, though?
He just won the championship at WrestleMania, the biggest show. You're programmed to believe that's the pinnacle.
Is he, though?
I don't believe it, but he believes it, and he should believe it.
Okay.
And he should push that like crazy.
Okay. For real, final comments now. Just because I saw Antoinette wrote something that I agree with. I don't agree. Cena was not the best. Edge is better. Boom. Take that, Johnny. Okay. Antoinette, always with me.
Edge is also from Toronto, so I think a little biased there.
Well, whatever. And Anthony says that AEW Fyter Fest will be on FITE.tv in the UK and Ireland. So you'll be able to watch it that way. I think FITE.tv, you're going to have to pay for it. I don't know if it's free like it is here, but it will be available.
It's good.
So there it is. And that's Dave and Johnny Live. All right.
Jam-packed edition.
Jam-packed edition of Dave and Johnny Live. Check out the next episode of Wrestling Uncensored. We're going to talk a little bit more about Seth Rollins and what his Twitter meltdown means for his persona in the WWE, and also some more quotes about Dean Ambrose that he had. We're also going to talk about the matches announced for WWE Extreme Rules, including Samoa Joe challenging Kofi Kingston for the WWE title, Alexa Bliss challenging Bayley again for the SmackDown title, and Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre teaming up to face off with the big dog, Roman Reigns, and the dead man, The Undertaker.
Shaping up to be a great pay-per-view.
Taker in a tag team match. It's actually a good booking for Taker. So we'll talk about that on Wrestling Uncensored. It'll drop tomorrow morning. And then AEW Fyter Fest post-show right here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, leave us your predictions for AEW Fyter Fest. And we'll see if you're right tomorrow, right after AEW's Fyter Fest, right here on the Ringside Report Network YouTube channel. And this is Dave and Johnny Live. Next week, John, back to our normal time of 12:45 Eastern. So about 12:30 in the afternoon. Dave and Johnny Live will be back to normal next Friday.
Yeah, you can go to bed. It's good.
That's right. All right. We'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night.